Ultimately, as a Canadian, kind of right in the prairies of Canada, I feel really distanced from war, kind of in general. We're in a pretty privileged, like, safe place. But what I think people should get curious about is that we're all in a global village more and more. That's we're right next door to these things. We just need to kind of open our eyes. There's something there that I think is interesting to just think about. We in our kind of safe little places of the world, we are living these things. It's just we live them on a microcosm level. Little wars exist on microcosmic levels. Our relationship with Afghanistan as Canadians exists in our households on a microcosmic level. We just don't think it's there, but it's actually there. And our relationship to the past also exists in the present day, just on microcosmic levels. So I guess when I'm kind of talking about Picasso and his personal life, I think my interest lies in where his microcosm, where his world as an individual exists in his paintings, and how that's just as relevant as the bigger pictures of this war and of this violence and what he was sort of more literally trying to reflect. But I think both are, like, all exist inside this painting.
The bombing of Guernica is often seen as a very pivotal moment in the history of warfare. People call it the dress rehearsal for World War II, which is sort of a horrifying thing to think of a dress rehearsal for a war, to think of war in those theatrical terms. People also call it, I've also heard it called the beginning of total warfare, or warfare that's not just involving military. It was, even though the death tolls were nothing approaching what would come in World War II, it was a bombing of not a military base, but sort of the cultural center of a region, a small town. It took the heart out of that place. They weren't attacking military, they were attacking people at their most sort of proud and vulnerable place. And the fact that it was on market day, when the population of the town almost doubles because people come in from all the neighboring areas. I still think about that now. It hasn't lost any of its significance. It becomes a bit of a gesture forward in time to every other time anybody's dropped a bomb or lit something on fire or flown overhead. I mean, we're never going to have an event like that again because warfare has fundamentally changed. When planes fly overhead, they're not dropping incendiary bombs, they're drones. And we're so far removed now in warfare from the actual harm that's being done. And so I hope that reconsidering Guernica brings people back closer to the horror of it, because you can't let yourself forget what's actually happening.
I think one thing about Guernica that's so heartbreaking, Guernica the play, is that these people don't know anything is coming at all. And from their point of view, it's just another day. It's just another market day. They hardly even acknowledge the war during the play until the very end, of course. And to think that that could be part of what's happening in the world now, it is a very clear parallel, in my opinion. And that's what keeps a play like Guernica so relevant, and a painting like Guernica so relevant. You see struggles that you can see in today's world, in the modern world. Thinking about the photos of refugees that I've seen just on the internet, not even on anything very public. I'm not seeking it out, but I'm seeing these images of either dead refugees or refugees crammed onto boats or into trucks, and they have a need to leave. They're not leaving to go die in a boat or in the ocean because they have another choice. They don't have another choice. And I think the people of Guernica, if they had had another choice, they would have chosen it. They would have chosen not to die in a bomb attack because of somebody else's war. And it's sad to think about. It's hard to think about, and that's the kind of emotions that are brought up when you watch the production. And those are certainly the types of emotions that I felt, the sadness, the sorrow, and the loss. And you feel similar things for the refugees that I'm seeing daily.
I think that where art has an advantage over other means of expression is that it can just put something in front of you and force you to grapple with it. It doesn't have to come down on a particular line or platform. And so I wouldn't want to call it an anti-war play. I wouldn't want to call it a pacifist play. I wouldn't want to call it an anti-fascist play. I want to leave all that in the audience's hands. It's their job to take the experience and the information forward. It's not my job to tell them what to think. I just want to give them something that makes them think.